Well, hello again, folks. It's June 9th. It's going to be kind of decent today, a little warmer tomorrow, and then hot as Hades on Thursday and Friday. And we're trying to start working on getting rid of the end of the bathroom and getting the steel attached to the concrete footer of the chimney. So let me show you what this is going to entail. Well, here we are looking at the original current structure of the house. This would be the chimney, actually the brick chimney itself, and then this is actually 5 feet deep and 6 feet wide. So actually the concrete is 6 feet wide, so this is more like 7 feet across here. And so this would stick out a little farther, but this is the big block of concrete. And here's the closet in the bathroom. The toilet was here. And for example, the electrical panel is right here. It will be going over here. But the post that supports the ridge beam is about in this location right in here. So what I'm trying to get done this week is to remove the walls around here and across here and over here in this little closet, and then begin tearing up the floor, basically from this point over to here and then back to here where it intersects where the floor is already torn up. And then start thinking about attaching the steel. So the steel, this is the drawing from the steel fabricator. The steel mounts, this is the block of concrete right here that the chimney sat on. So I've got these two brackets right here that I got last week reworked right here. And then the two posts sit on 2x8s that are sitting on near the ends of these two cantilevered beams that are sticking off this concrete pad. So hopefully in the next week or two, I can get these L brackets here mounted to the side of the chimney. And then within a few trips, do whatever plumbing I need to do between this point here and the street, because all the plumbing, you know, clearly this was a bathroom right here. So there's plumbing under here. There's plumbing over here. And I'll go back to the first floor drawing here. Right, so we got two bathrooms with plumbing and the kitchen. So the main drain is running along in this direction here, feeding out. The septic tank is over here in this region. And yeah, so I might have to do a little bit of plumbing work. The pressure plumbing will likely go to the second floor over in this region here, instead of over here, which is currently the porch that I had already reframed here. So there might not be a lot of plumbing work here. If there's plumbing work here, it's going to be because I'm trying to make sure that the plumbing slopes down toward where the plumbing enters the house, which is over here and near in the front yard. The main valve for the house is here, and clearly, since I had water leaking in or burst pipes in here last winter, clearly all the water isn't running out when I drain the water in this location. So I want to, if I can slope some pipes going in this direction to ease the evacuation of the system, I want to take care of that. The toilet might actually have to slide left or right a few inches to make sure I've got 15-inch clearance. I think the toilet, the space between this wall and this wall here was probably on the order of 28 inches or something like that. So I want to make, and this closet won't be rebuilt. This will be open. for the new bathroom. So I can slide the toilet over if I feel the need to go that far. But yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of the game plan for the next few trips. Once I do any plumbing, then I need to make sure that I've redone the joists in this region here to be pressure treated. And these joists here would be pressure treated. I may have to replace the rim joist and sill over here. If it looks like there's some rot, maybe some evidence of termite damage in this region. If there is, I'll replace that and be sure to bolt the sill down to the foundation, which I don't believe it currently is. So once I get all that structure taken care of, get the steel in here and this structure here, then I can insulate. I can get structural inspection, then insulation inspection, and then put down all the sheathing, floor sheathing that would complete from here over, and from about here over, and all of this. So that would make the majority of the first floor all sheathed. And that would be pretty cool, because then I could put in the posts on top of the subfloor and then put in the two beams that go from here over to this beam here. That's the game plan. See you. All right, folks, so making good progress here on getting this bathroom torn apart. Some interesting things I found in this wall here. A newspaper, a public Washington Post magazine insert into an October of 1970 newspaper, which was pretty cool. So as far as I'm concerned, that dates the house. And the reason I know it dates the house is because this is all 3/8 inch wallboard here. And it was embedded in a mud repair. I guess they used it as to clog a hole in the wall right here. And it was all crumpled up and shoved in with mud. And the rest of the new construction from '95 has been 1/2 inch. So clearly this entire bathroom is original, 3/8 inch wallboard, and they just glued the tile right to the wallboard. And then we've got wood plank sheathing, and on top of that is 1/2 inch ply, no, tar paper, then 1/2 inch ply. Then there was an original linoleum, and then 1/4 inch particle board or OSB, and then the linoleum, I'm guessing, was put in '95. So yeah, this of course the entire toilet has been rotten, and I was planning on repairing or replacing the floor completely, but I'm also going to move the hole for the toilet over a few inches, because 15 inches from center of the flange lands in the center of this vent pipe. So clearly it was not 15 inches from the finished surface of the wall. So anyway, it'll be easy to move that. Yeah, so we'll keep on tearing apart. All right, here's a gander at some of the wood that was up against that up against that chimney foundation. So this is a single 2x in here. My gosh, that's who knows how many years that took. It's completely dry, of course. No termites. Here's another one. Jeez. And then, of course, along the upriver side of the foundation. So these two joists here, I'm going to keep, and I'll sister them on each side with some substantial construction screws to have them bear on the L bracket that'll be along the chimney. Of course, you notice that this 4x6 just kind of hangs off there about 18 inches. That's nice. Now, why there is no damage to this piece of wood, I don't know. I don't know that they were using pressure treated wood back in 1970 or earlier. I guess they had pressure treated wood, but it certainly did not meet the same fate that this met. So I'm not treating this as bearing because I have, first of all, we've got the L brackets that are going to stick out about in here, and so any joists to the left of my finger are going to bear on that L bracket. And then we've got that beam, and I can sister it up to this guy, which will be bearing on the L bracket. And then I'm going to leave this other guy here intact to that point right there. And then I'll replace that joist right there going all the way over and sister it up with this guy. He looks rotten, but it's just a bunch of stuff sitting on it. He's not really that bad. And then all the other joists here I'm going to keep as they are. Of course, I'll be putting 1-inch styrofoam underneath and taping it to form a vapor barrier, and then laying insulation between the joists on top of that. My pressure treated joists I'm going to be using for this are drying out in the yard right now. They've been drying for about 3 weeks, stacked with stickers between them. So, yeah. All right, got time to clean up. Look at this frickin' mess. Wow. All right, folks, so I kind of screwed up and put this water heater on this piece of plywood, and I need it to move. So that's a 50-gallon water heater full of water. I'm guessing it's probably 350 to 400 pounds. So I have to lift it up and hold it up off of this plywood so that I can, and far away from the wall, so that I can replace all these joists. So I figured I'd make a little frame here, one on each side, that rests on the ground, and then I can... All right, yeah, so that was a really dumb idea. So I just went ahead and put in the new water heater, 20-gallon. I was able to reuse all the parts, so I didn't have to go buy anything. And had lots of hose and wire to be able to move it over to this location where the subfloor is new. And as long as that doesn't leak, I'll be happy. So anyway, back to work. All right, so what I'm doing here along this 2x8 over this opening, there's going to be a PSL landing on top of this 2x8 right here, and this is the street side support for the beam above the stairs. That's the top of the stairs going across, and the beam that goes across the kitchen. So first of all, I needed to remove an inch and 5/8 times 2, because these old Douglas fir 2x material is 1 5/8 thick. So I needed to. So I'm going to be sandwiching 3 old 2x8s together to form a beam to bridge across this opening, and so I needed to cut these 2 joists, which are going to remain, and then I'll put a hanger on them. Of course, any joists that meet this triple beam here are going to be hangered off because they're not touching very much of this rim joist, or seal plate. And then here was a golden opportunity to put in an anchor. You see, there's no anchors holding this sill plate down to the foundation. None. Nothing. Zippo. It's just sitting on there. Gravity. So because there were some holes in the block here, I thought it a good opportunity to put in a bolt. So I filled this with very thin concrete. I had to block the other hole on the other side. And then I had some concrete left over. And I cut out the sill plate on the other side of the house that I'm going to be replacing, and filled a cell there and put in a bolt for future use. So in the next 2 trips down, I'll be able to address that side of the house. For now, number one, because I need this to cure, and then I need to tighten it, and then I need to cut a notch in the bottom of these boards here, one of them, to and then fit the 2 boards in here, bolt it all together, and then I can anchor my my joist to that. Then, and that's a procedure that the county inspector bought off on. He said, yeah, that's fine. Tripling that up is quite enough. And then, so now I'm going to proceed to start tearing these other joists out. These are all on 2-foot center, and they're not pressure treated. So I'm going to replace these with 16 on center, pressure treated, and work my way. And basically that'll mean I'm kind of working my way around the chimney foundation and getting ready to put in these L brackets to support the posts. So yeah, it's a long process. It's hot down here. Last night we had a massive torrential downpour. And yesterday I also bolstered up a bunch more of the inside and out of the temporary roof. So I added more structure to it, more screws. This obviously would not withstand a tornado or a hurricane, but it's pretty strong, and you know I can walk on it, and I'm confident that it will withstand 95% of the rainstorms that we get down here. That torrential rain showed me a leak in the roof over the living space, so I could put a bucket under it. That was good that I saw that, so I could put a bucket under it and know that that leak is covered or taken care of. So yeah, back to work. All right, folks, I'm going to call it a trip. As you can see, I got lots of, got the joists out on this side. I only got 3 more to do over there. And then I can take out you know, one thing I need to do is to replace the sill and the rim joist over there, and mount the L brackets on the side, and put those joists in, and then put in, you know, and I gotta clean up all the debris in here. I'm kind of anal. I want the crawl space to be pretty clean in case I need to crawl around in it. I also want to dig out some of this dirt before I put the joist in, so it's easier to come in, and you know, if I need to tape something up, replace a broken styro panel, anything. There's not going to be any plumbing or wires under here, but I noticed under here, this is the crawl space I did a long time ago. There's some falling tape. Not a lot, but there's a few pieces of tape that are falling down. And I'm going to need to climb in there eventually after that dries out, you know, later on in the build, and tidy up in there with respect to the tape. From now on, I'm going to be, if I can, I'm going to tape from above. I'll put tape on the edge of the styrofoam here. And then when I pull a piece of tape up, or a piece of styrofoam up, then I can, you know, push the tape down on this surface. So the inside surface I'm going to use as the sealing surface for the tape. And yeah, I'll carry on this same 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch going across that the styro rests on. You can see some white tape there that's protecting the sill plate. Also, when I put the joists in, I want to jack up this sill plate, which of course isn't attached, and put some plastic under the sill plate on top of the bricks. And because this sill isn't pressure treated, so I can put some plastic under there, and that'll keep moisture from coming up through the bricks and into the wood. So that'll improve the longevity of this. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm hot and smelly. Time to go home. See you.